I've been watching Candace for a year, and I have learned something very specific and obscure from her, which I'm going to tell you. I started watching Candace when she was covering Blake Lively and Justin Maloney, and I kept watching her because there was just something about her. Obviously, she's got a storied past, and I can tell you I was not a fan of hers in 2020, but I felt like she had actually changed and she was a different person. And I found her to be very genuine. Then when Charlie Kirk died, I noticed something else. First of all, I was like, she was close to him. I didn't really know much of anything about Charlie Kirk except for the sound bites where he said some pretty polarizing things, and it polarized me the other way, I'll tell you that. But I was like, she's mourning him. All these people are mourning this guy that I am not a fan of at all. Like, I cannot see the merit in this person. And then thinking about how she's friends with Tucker Carlson and Megyn Kelly and all these other, she's amenable to all these other seriously unpopular people. Like, she's had Myron Gaines on her show. I don't know if she interviewed Andrew Tate or she had dinner with him, but she's cohorted with these people. What I realize is that for them, Kanye too, she's a big fan of Kanye. I think for them, what they connect to is the quality of what they're saying as opposed to the content of what they're saying. I think the reason they have this connection, this appreciation for each other, even though they've all said like problematic things. I was really spending a lot of time like, I feel that that Charlie has said some things that should upset Candace as a Black woman. But what I realize is it's not about what they say, but it's the fact that they're saying something that they believe in, or they are saying something without fear, without compromise. I think they value that over what the other person says. So what I've learned is, what is the cost of trying to adapt my language and my ideas to be appropriate for society? This is a process. I'm currently reading this book, The Coddling of the American Mind, that's challenging me in regards to the things that I've accepted and the things that I've internalized, even though I don't really speak about them. But I'm just realizing a lot of what I think is me is really the culture, society, what I've been indoctrinated to believe is correct or appropriate. And so I think what I like about Candace, even though I don't agree with everything she says, there's some things I don't like about her, some ways that I feel like she's naive. I still feel like I can appreciate that she speaks about what is true to her. She says what she believes in. And I want to be more like that. I'm not going to tell you to be a Catholic or to buy gold or whatever else she talks about. Be pro-life. I'm not going to say any of that because that's not what I'm passionate about. But I am more interested in speaking without fear and cultivating ideas that belong to me and not society. How about you? Deprogramming myself takes so much work. I made this video all about how I'm inspired to cultivate my own ideas and value authenticity over saying whatever is the script, the narrative, whatever's approved. And then I go and say something stupid. It's like trying to change and update is so tedious sometimes. In the video, I talked about how watching Candace Owens has caused me to value more in an influencer and a speaker the fact that they're speaking authentically and unafraid than how acceptable whatever it is that they're saying. And one of the things I said was I was talking about how she's associated with some people who are pretty problematic, and that's really what got me thinking, like, Why doesn't she care about the things that they say? And I decided, or I've concluded as far as I can, that I think she values the fact that they share with her the quality of being brave and unafraid and saying things authentically over what they say. It's almost like whatever they're saying is secondary to the fact that they are saying it. I describe these individuals as seriously unpopular people, which is just incorrect and false. Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Myron Gaines, Andrew Tate, those are not unpopular people. Those are people with very large platforms, successful shows, and a lot of influence. But the reason I consider them unpopular is because they say things, or they have said things or expressed things that have not been accepted, even if there are things that I don't disagree with. The mainstream media does not like them, or this side doesn't like them. And I've just taken that to mean that these guys are unpopular. The irony of this statement, and the reason I'm responding to this comment, and there was like 3 other comments, is because it really proves a point. It proves my point about how important it is for me to be intentional about owning what I say and owning my views, and not allowing myself to be programmed to have certain perspectives. But it also proves a point about how the risk we perceive there to be in saying things that are not on script, that are not approved, is actually not there, because these people are unliked for various reasons, but they are very successful. I think this idea that you can only hold certain opinions is actually more obviously a fallacy than I believed before I even made that video. If these people with these opinions have so much reach, it's because they're not actually unpopular opinions or beliefs. They're just unapproved. It's easy to disconnect and be like, you know what, I'm just going to be true to myself, and if that hurts me, that hurts me. And I think there are plenty of people who have experienced that. They're their true selves, and they are being shunned and rejected for it, or punished for it. But it also isn't necessarily going to end up like that, as we can see with these seriously unpopular people. So that comment and the other ones have really helped me to check myself and continue the work of deprogramming. I hope that you will join me on this journey.